Hey everyone, welcome back to Fantasy Gleam. What would you do if your six brothers were turned into swans, and the only way to save them was to stay silent for 6 long years? This is the story of the Six Swans, a tale of love, sacrifice, and unbreakable courage. The Six Swans. Once upon a time, a king named Aldren was hunting deep in a vast ancient forest. So determined was he to catch his prey that he rode far from his people. When evening came, he stood still, and looking around him, he found that he was utterly lost. Where am I? Which way leads home? Just then, an old woman with a crooked back and a nodding head stepped out from the shadows. "Good evening, my lord king. You look lost." "I am. Can you show me the way out?" "I can, but I must make a condition. And if you do not fulfill it, you will never get out of these woods again, and you'll die of hunger. I have a daughter who is as fair as any in the world. And if you will take her for your bride and make her queen, I will show you the way home." Desperate and weary, King Aldren agreed. Morwena led him to her home where her daughter, Serilda, awaited by the fire. Though beautiful, she chilled the king to his soul. Nevertheless, he took the maiden before him on his horse, and the old woman showed him the way. And soon he was in his royal castle again. Soon after, the wedding was held. But the king had children from his first marriage, 6 sons and 1 daughter, whom he loved more than life itself. Their names were Erinder, Kale, Lucan, Rowan, Taran, Finner, and their sister Elara. Fearing the new queen would harm them, he hid them in a secret castle deep in the woods. Only a magical clue of yarn, given by a wise woman named Esmera, could show him the way. When he threw the yarn down before him, it unrolled itself and showed him the way. "You are my heart. Stay hidden. Stay safe." The king went so often to see his dear children that the queen was displeased with the king's all absences. She bribed his servants, and they showed her the secret and told her of the clue of yarn, which alone could point out the way. Queen Serilda stole the magical clue and stitched 6 small white silk shirts, each sewn with a wicked spell that she had learned from her mother. Once when King Aldren had ridden to a hunt, she took the little shirts and went into the woods, and the clue of yarn showed her the way. "Father, you've come." Disguised in the woods, she threw the shirts over the boys as they ran to greet her, thinking she was their father. The moment the shirts touched them, they transformed into swans and soared away with cries of confusion and sorrow. The queen went home very pleased, thinking that she had got rid of her stepchildren. But young Princess Elara had not followed her brothers, and the queen knew nothing about her, so she was spared. When the king came again to the secret castle, only his daughter remained. "Where are your brothers?" "Ah, dear father, they have gone away and left me behind." She told him how she had seen from her window her brothers in the guise of swans fly away through the woods, and she showed him the feathers which they had let fall in the courtyard. The king was stricken with grief, but never guessed his new queen was the cause. Fearing his daughter would be stolen away from him as well, King Aldren wished to take her away with him. She, however, was afraid of the stepmother and begged the king to let her remain one more night in the castle in the woods. That night, the brave princess fled into the forest. "I must find them. I must set them free." After a day and night of wandering, she came upon a small hut with 6 little beds. At sunset, 6 swans flew in through the window and blew their feathers off like cloaks. Before her stood her brothers. "Sister, you found us. You must leave. This place is dangerous. And you can't defend me?" "No, for we can only get rid of our swan skins and keep our human shape every evening for a quarter of an hour. But after that, we must be changed again into swans. Can anything be done to set you free?" "It's nearly impossible." "I don't care. I'll find a way to break the spell." "Tell me what to do." "You must sew 6 shirts from star flowers without speaking or laughing for 6 whole years. One word and all is lost. Just as the brothers had finished telling her this, the quarter of an hour came to an end, and they changed into swans and flew out of the window. I must set them free. Determined, Princess Elara climbed into a tree deep in the forest and began her work in silence. Day after day, she picked and stitched. She spoke to no one. She did not smile. Her heart was full only of hope. One day, the king of that land, King Aldren, rode through the forest, and his huntsman spotted her in the tree. "Oh, look, someone's up there. Who are you, girl? Come down." She did not answer, not even when they coaxed and questioned her. In the end, they brought her to King Aldren. The king was struck by her beauty and gentleness. "Who are you?" Though she could not say a word, he spoke to her in all the languages he knew. "What were you doing in the tree?" But she remained dumb. He brought her to his palace and gave her fine clothes. This maiden I choose for wife, and no other in all the world. And so the silent princess was married, her heart still bound to her secret task. But King Aldren's mother, Queen Mirren, was cruel and suspicious, and spoke ill of the young queen. Who knows where the maiden can have come from, and not able to speak a word? She is not worthy of a king. When the silent queen bore a child, the old woman stole it and smeared the queen's lips with blood. See, she eats her own children. She is cursed. The king would not believe such a thing, and ordered that no one should do her any harm. The queen went on quietly sewing the shirts and caring for nothing else. The next time that a fine boy was born, the wicked stepmother used the same deceit, but King Aldren would give no credence to her words. The people, however, grew fearful. She is too tender and good to do any such thing. And if she were only not dumb and could justify herself, then her innocence would be as clear as day. When for the 3rd time the old woman stole away the newborn child and accused the queen, who was unable to say a word in her defense, the king could do no other but give her up to justice, and she was sentenced to suffer death by fire. On the very day she was to be burned for her crimes, the 6 shirts were ready, except one which lacked a sleeve. She was led to the stake, her arms full of shirts, her face calm, and then a sound in the sky. Wings, 6 swans swooping down toward her. She threw the shirts over them. Feathers fell away. The spell was broken, but one shirt was incomplete, and the youngest brother Finner kept a swan's wing for a left arm. The young queen spoke at last, her voice clear and full of truth. "My husband, I am innocent. I have been silent 6 years to save my brothers from a cruel spell. Your mother stole our children." The king listened. The stolen children were found, and wicked Queen Mirren was brought to justice. The brothers, once swans, now lived free beside their sister. King Aldren and Queen Elara ruled in peace and joy for many years. And so ends the tale of loyalty, silence, and sacrifice, of one sister's love strong enough to break even the deepest spell. And so, Princess Elara's silence became her strength, her love breaking the darkest curse. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fantasy Gleam, where every story whispers magic beneath the stars.